Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, children. Today we are entering into the third chapter of physics, which is called as thermal physics. Now, this is also a very important chapter, but it's a very small chapter. You have very small concepts and very limited amount of topics that are discussed in this chapter, but all the topics that are covered are considered to be the basic of what we are going to learn in your higher classes. Okay, so let us move on to the topic thermal physics. Right now, what is the meaning for the word thermal, children? Are you aware of what is the meaning for the word thermal? Thermal is nothing but which is related to heat. So whenever we talk about heat energy, the immediate thing that registers in our mind, or the immediate object which is related to heat, okay, is nothing but the heating devices which produces heat, and which is considered to be the primary source of thermal energy, which is considered to be as sun. We consider sun as the primary source of the heat energy. Okay, and the heat energy is the cause, and we are going to learn about temperature, which is the effect of heat energy. Okay, right. Now let us go into the definition of what is temperature. Now you cannot imagine anything nowadays without heat energy, right? Almost all our needs are based on heat energy, right? So we are going to learn much detail about this temperature and the effects of thermal energy. Thermal is nothing but heat. Okay, so without wasting much of time, let us go into the definition of what is a temperature. Okay, now how do you define temperature? Temperature is defined as the degree of hotness of a body. Suppose your mother is cooking something in the kitchen. Okay, she has a tawa on the stove. Immediately, suddenly, unknowingly, you go and touch it. What happens? Immediately, you will feel that hotness of a body. So temperature is nothing but the degree of hotness of a body. How much how much is the temperature of a body can be measured by what is called as temperature. So it is defined as the degree of hotness of a body. And there is one more definition for temperature, which is defined as the property which determines whether the body is in equilibrium or not with the surroundings. Now, what is the meaning for the word equilibrium? Equilibrium is, suppose let us consider two objects which are at a different temperature. Okay, there will be a transfer of heat in between the two bodies unless and until both attain the same temperature. So that is called as equilibrium condition, right? So we are going to discuss on that also in detail. Let me finish this definition part, then we will go to the topic what is called as thermal equilibrium also. Okay, ma? Right. So it is also defined as the property which determines whether the body is in equilibrium or not with the surroundings. So we can also find out from the temperature of the body whether the body is in equilibrium condition or not. So that is also, temperature can be determined through that also, right? And it also determines the direction of flow of heat. So the direction of flow of heat is also determined by temperature. Suppose let us take a small beaker. Now you have some milk inside this. Okay, now you are heating it in a low flame. There is a Stove here, you are heating the element in a low flame. Now when you heat it in a low flame, what happens here? At the base you have the bottom part, okay, of the liquid gets heated, whereas the upper part will not get heat. So now what is the direction of heat from the upper part to the lower part is also determined by its temperature. Now I can differentiate the temperature between these two surfaces. Here you have the temperature to be hot, here you have the temperature to be not that much. So now it also defines the direction of, now here how, what is the direction of flow of heat? Heat is transferred from the bottom surface to the top surface, transfer of heat. Direction of flow of heat is also determined by the temperature. Okay, so what happens when temperature is raised? When the temperature of a body is raised is the average kinetic energy of the molecules will be increasing, which increases the temperature. Okay, so temperature is you should know all these things about temperature. It is a scalar quantity. Now as far as temperature is concerned, it doesn't have a direction and all, it just only measures the value. So whatever quantities that are, quantities that have only magnitude or values, you call those quantities as scalar quantities. Okay, so temperature is a scalar quantity and the SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. So very important word, Kelvin. Okay, which is the unit of temperature, like how length is measured in meter, mass is measured in kilogram, time is measured in second, current is measured in ampere. Similarly, temperature is measured in Kelvin, which is the SI unit. Okay, and apart from this, we also have some other units of temperature as degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit. You have Fahrenheit thermometers also. Okay, Fahrenheit thermometers. Thermometer is an instrument. What for we use thermometer, children? Now when you go to a doctor when you are sick, if you are running a fever, so when you go to the doctor, immediately he will have an instrument called thermometer. Now when that instrument is kept inside your body, it will show the temperature of your body. So it is an instrument which is used to measure, or it's a device which is used to measure temperature. So you have actually, I told you the unit of temperature is Kelvin, but apart from that we have some more commonly used units of temperature as degree Celsius. Temperature is also measured in degree Celsius and also it is measured in degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so this is about the introduction of temperature. Then we'll go to a very important definition which is called as absolute scale. Now absolute scale, or otherwise called as Kelvin scale of temperature. So what is this absolute temperature? The temperature that is measured in relation to absolute zero. Now you can make this to absolute zero by changing the pressure. So you change the pressure, keep on varying the pressure, and at a stage the temperature comes to absolute zero. In that case, nothing will be moving. Absolute zero means everything will be stopping, which is not possible at all. Okay, but when you keep on compressing, when you keep on giving a pressure, we can make a body. We cannot make a body, but near that absolute zero, you can measure the temperature. So the temperature measured in relation to absolute, when it is coming to absolute zero, no objects will move, no charges will flow, nothing will happen. That temperature is nothing but you call it as absolute zero, which is not possible. Okay, ma? So the temperature almost nearing to absolute zero, you call that temperature as absolute temperature, and that is measured using the Kelvin scale. So this is called as absolute scale temperature, and also it is known as thermodynamic temperature. So absolute temperature is otherwise called as thermodynamic temperature. Now this definition you should remember. The temperature measured in relation to absolute zero using the Kelvin scale is known as absolute temperature. Okay, ma? So these are some of the definitions you should know about thermal energy. Okay, So what is each unit of thermodynamic scale of temperature? So this is a little bit difficult to understand, but before that you should know what is triple point of water. Now triple point of water, water can be in three states, children. Water can be in the form of a solid, example ice cube, then in liquid water, so this is the liquid form, okay, and also in vapor form, gaseous form you have. So these are all the three states of water, okay. Now at a temperature of 273.16 Kelvin, at a particular temperature, now this at this temperature the water can be in its three states of matter at this particular temperature called 273.16. Now this temperature is nothing but you call it as triple point of water. Triple means 3. Okay, triple point of water is accomplished at a temperature of 273.16 Kelvin. So what is 1 unit of thermodynamic scale? So 1 unit of thermodynamical scale of temperature is defined as the fraction of 273.16. So fraction means you have 1 by 273.16 part of triple point of water. You will be learning much more about this in your higher classes. You just know this definition alone now. Okay, so each unit of thermodynamic scale of temperature is defined as the fraction of 1 by 273.16 part of the triple point of water. What is triple point of water? At a temperature of 273.16 degree, 273.16 Kelvin. Now water accomplishes all its three states, that's a solid, liquid and gaseous state. So that temperature is nothing but you call it as triple point of water. Okay, and the next point is 0 Kelvin is the absolute scale. Now this we have already discussed. What is absolute scale of temperature? We have already discussed, right? Now here are some of the relations you should know. Now these formulas are used to solve numericals. Okay, as I told you, temperature is measured. See this, the unit of temperature is Kelvin, and some of the commonly used units of temperature is degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit, I said, no. So based on all these things, we have some relations where you can use these relations to convert. Now here the first relation is used to convert Celsius into Kelvin. See, K is equal to C plus 273. So degrees, this value will be in degrees Celsius. When you add 273 to that, that becomes the Kelvin scale value. So relation between Celsius and Kelvin scale is K is equal to C plus 273. Okay, ma? And what is the relation between Fahrenheit and Kelvin? So if you want to convert into Kelvin from a Fahrenheit scale, you have to use this formula. K is equal to F plus 460 into 5 by 9. So this is the formula. And 0 Kelvin is equal to minus 273 degrees Celsius. This is the equivalent of 0 Kelvin. In 0 Kelvin, that is equivalent to minus 273 degrees Celsius. So all these formulas you should remember, children. Now all these will be used for solving simple numericals. Okay, ma? So this is about some of the points about temperature. Once again I recall. Now temperature is defined as the degree of hotness of a body, and it is also defined as a property which determines whether the body is in equilibrium or not with the surroundings. The unit of temperature is Kelvin, and the commonly used units of temperatures are degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit. Okay, and we also saw some of the formulas relating Celsius and Kelvin and Fahrenheit and Kelvin. So with this we are moving on to a very important topic of thermal physics, which is called as thermal equilibrium. Okay, now to make you understand this, Now let me draw a beaker here, children. Okay, this is a beaker. Now this beaker is filled with water. Okay, right? Now consider one more beaker. Okay, and here the level of water is this. So two beakers, one beaker is filled with water up to this height, and here it is, the level of water is low when compared to this first beaker. So two such beakers are kept. Now these two beakers are connected with a pipe. Okay, and here you have a tap. So what is this? A tap. Okay, now so this is how the beakers are connected. It is connected with a pipe, right? And here you have a pipe which can tap which can be opened and closed, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this tap. Okay, what do you think when I open this tap, children? What do you think? Now as soon as I open this tap, immediately what happens? The water which is in this beaker A, it starts flowing to the beaker B. Yes or no? Because this level is at a lower level, right? And this is at a higher level. So as soon as this tap is opened, the water from the beaker A will start flowing to the to the beaker B. So how long does this happen? Now this process will take place until the level of water in both the beakers remain the same. So the process goes on till that, yes or no? Now here the level of water is not the same, but when you open the tap which is connecting the beakers, now the water which is at a higher level will start moving to the beaker where the water is at lower level. So it keeps on moving until the two levels, water levels in the beaker become the same. Yes or no? Right? Here we are going to talk about thermal equilibrium. Now, so this is a condition for equilibrium. So the water will flow till both the beakers will have the same level. So then the water is said to be in equilibrium, we'll say. Both attain the same level. Similarly, whenever we talk about two or more physical bodies, or whenever we talk about two or more physical systems, now these systems are said to be in thermal equilibrium if there is no net flow of thermal energy between the systems, right? Now heat energy. Now whenever a body is heated, now that heat energy, when you keep a cold body near it, now the heat energy always gets transferred from or flows from one body to the other due to the temperature. Now this body is said to be at a lower temperature, right? Now this body is said to be at a higher temperature. So when you keep these two bodies together, the temperature from the hot body is flown to the cold body. So now what happens? The temperature of the hot body becomes lower and the temperature of the cold body becomes higher. So this process will take place until both the bodies will be maintaining the same temperature, and we can say that the two physical bodies are now said to be in equilibrium. Is it clear, children? Now take your book, page number 33. This concept is discussed, children. Take the topic thermal equilibrium. Okay, thermal equilibrium, the first itself is a definition. Two or more physical systems or bodies are said to be in thermal equilibrium if there is no net flow of thermal energy between the systems. Okay, now what will happen if two bodies are different temperatures are brought in contact with one another. Here, this is the example. Now, this is a hot body, this is a cold body. Now, what happens? There will be a transfer of heat energy. So, what is transferred here? Transfer of what energy? Heat energy. So, there will be a transfer of heat energy which is taking place from the hot body to the cold body. Are you able to get my point? Right. So, how long this process takes place? Until a thermal equilibrium is established between them. Right? Is it clear? Similarly, when you keep a cold body, take ice water from the fridge. Okay, a bottle filled with water and it is kept in a fridge. Now, when you open the fridge, the bottle will be very, very cool. You cannot even touch the bottle if it is going to be in freezer. So, when you take it out and keep it on the table, what happens now? The cold body, it transfers. Now, what is happening here? Look at the paragraph which is there down the diagram. When a cold body is placed in contact with a hot body, now which is the hot body here? The surrounding, the bottle which you have kept in the table, the area surrounding the cold body is the hot body, which is nothing but air. Yes or no? So, when a cold body is placed in contact with a hot body, some thermal energy is transferred from the hot body to the cold body. As a result, what happens? The cold water, which is considered to be very chill, now there will be a rise in temperature of the cold body. So, always heat energy is transferred from a body to another body, which is a hot body, from a hot body to a cold body, and this process takes place until both will have the same temperature. So, that is considered to be the thermal equilibrium state of a body. You understood what is thermal equilibrium, right? And there is a form of energy that is flowing from the hot body to the cold body, and this energy is nothing but you call it as thermal energy. Thermal energy, or otherwise it is also called as heat energy. The energy that is transferred from one body to the other due to their difference in their temperatures, you call that as thermal energy. Okay, and this heat energy, it makes the sensation of warmth. Warmth means making something feel hot, that is called as warmth. Warmth and makes bodies hot. Okay, and the process in which heat energy flows from a body at a higher temperature to another body at lower temperature is called as heating. So, heating is the process of heat energy flowing from a hot body to a cold body. Okay, so this process of transfer of heat, it may be done in various ways. One is conduction. Hope you would have read about these words in your lower classes. Conduction, there are three processes in which heat can be transferred. One is conduction, the second one is convection, and the third one is radiation. So, these are the three processes of transfer of heat. We will not go in much detail about this process. We have already read that in your lower classes. Now, let us talk about the unit of heat. Heat is a scalar quantity. Like how temperature is a scalar quantity, similarly, heat is also a scalar quantity. Okay, and it is measured in joule. So, SI unit is joule. Okay, ma? Is it clear? Yes, so this is about thermal energy. Now let us discuss some of the characteristic features of heat energy. Okay. Now heat energy always flow from a system at higher temperature to a system at lower temperature. So how the transfer of heat takes place? It takes place from a body which is at a high temperature to a system at lower temperature, right? Next, the mass of the system is not altered in the sense it is not changed. What is the meaning for the word altered? Changed. So when the heat is transferring from higher temperature to a lower temperature, will there be a change in the mass of the system? Means it is not changed when it is heated or cooled. But this is not the correct statement. There will be a change in mass which you will be learning in your higher classes. But at your level, you understand that the mass of the system is not changed. Okay. Next, what is the third point? For any exchange of heat, exchange means transfer, any exchange of heat, the heat gained by the cold system is equal to the heat lost by the hot system. So this is a formula. Heat gained is equal to heat lost. Okay, a very important formula. So these are some of the characteristic features of heat energy. This may be discussed as a 2-mark or 3-mark question. So you need to know these points. Okay. Now let us go to the other units of heat energy. Now I already told you that SI unit of heat energy is measured in what? Okay, it is measured as joule, I said. But apart from this, you have one more unit which is called as calorie. So what is calorie? 1 calorie is defined as the amount of heat energy required to rise the temperature. This R should not be there. To rise the temperature of 1 gram of water through 1 degree Celsius. Okay. So take 1 gram of water. Now you wanted to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water through 1 degree. So by 1 degree Celsius you wanted to increase the temperature of 1 gram of water. So what is the amount of heat energy that is required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree? So that much amount of heat energy is nothing but you call it as 1 calorie. Okay, I repeat the sentence once again. 1 calorie is defined as the amount of heat energy required to rise the temperature of 1 gram of water through 1 degree Celsius. Similarly, you have one more unit for heat, which is kilocalorie. Kilo is 10 power 3. Okay. 1 kilocalorie is defined as the amount of heat energy required to rise the temperature of 1 kilogram of water. Now last definition we saw it is 1 gram of water, but here it is 1 kilogram of water. I wanted to raise 1 kilogram of water by 1 degree Celsius. What is the amount of heat energy required to do that is nothing but you call it as kilocalories. Okay, ma? So learn these definitions well and go through all the definitions that we were discussing on the introduction, like temperature, properties of heat, what is thermal equilibrium, calories, kilocalories. All these definitions you go through in your textbook. We'll continue with effects of heat energy in the next class, children. Okay, see you.